In this video, we are going to get the length of longest substring with utmost k frequency. Hello, I'm Jagan. I'm posting this video to share my knowledge in Python language with you. If this assists you in your interview preparation anyways, I will be happy. Now we are given an integer list and a threshold k, like sample is here. If you see this, the input list is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 and the threshold is 1. So what we have to get is, we have to get the longest substring. At most every element in that substring should appear once. So in this list 1, 2, 3 is going to be the longest substring, right? So the length is going to be 3. If we say the threshold is 2, that means any element can appear maximum of 2 times. So we can say 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3. So here all the elements can appear twice. So the length, the longest substring is going to be 6. Okay. So how to address this? So we are going to use the 2-point algorithm and create a sliding window. Sliding window mean you just start with 1. If this is acceptable, then go with the second, and if it's acceptable, go with the third. So you just slide the window to the right. If it breaks here, then you try with the second element and then you extend the window. Okay, so that's called sliding window, and we are going to have the left and the right points. So that's the algorithm we are going to use to address this. Okay, so let's start with a simple function. Def grow with data. This is the list and then the threshold k. So we are going to assign all the parameters or variables, left, right, and then the frequency, and then the maximum length. So we are going to assign left and right starts with 0, and then the frequency is a dictionary, and then the maximum length we assign at 0. The frequency dictionary, we are going to use this to track each element and how many times it appears, and we check if it's more than threshold. More than threshold, then we can move the sliding window. Okay, so this is my assignment. Now I will check for index val in enumerate the given list. I just do the assign eq frequency of val equal to frequency of val plus 1 if val in the dictionary else 1. So we are going to increment. If the value means every element in the list is brought into the loop, and we check if that value exists in the frequency dictionary. If it exists, you just increment that value by 1. If it not, then you assign the value as 1. Okay. Now after assigning the value in the dictionary, we are going to check if that element's occurrence is greater than the threshold. Okay, so we just extend this later. If it's not, if it is within the threshold, then we just say we are going to move the window to the right. Okay, so first it just goes here and check the element. It's not in the dictionary and it's only once, but the k is going to be 2. So this is not greater than k. So we assign the right, that means we extend the window to the second element and then third element like this. So what if it occurs more than threshold, like if the threshold is 1 and we are going to cross here, right, the second one, that means it passes the threshold. Then what we are going to do is we are going to reassign the maximum length equal to whichever is the max, whatever the maximum length we have before, or the right minus left. Okay, so we just see which one is going to be the maximum length. Is going to be the maximum length we assigned in the previous loop, or we are going to check the right minus left is going to be the length of the string. So which one is going to be max, we assign here, and then we are going to reassign our dictionary's key value pair, the value, and then the left has to move, right? So we just say while the nums of left is not equal to the value. Okay, if that is the case, then we just reduce the value of the nums left by 1. Okay, so we just reduce that variable and then we move the left 1, and then we just go back and change the same frequency of numbers equal to 1. Let's go through the sample after we're done with the code. And left plus equal to 1. Okay, so now we change the sliding window and then we go back to the second variable. Okay, now when you return, we just say whatever the max is. We just do here the maximum length, or we're going to see if it's right minus left, whichever is maximum we are going to assign. Hope there is no syntax error. Let's check if it works. No. Max length reference before assignment. Oh, maximum length, LENG. Okay, we can just say maximum length. Okay, okay. Now it says 3, that is this. If it's going to be k equal to 2, then 6 is going to be the max. Let's see how this works in the loop. Okay, before that, when you do a practice exercise, we just have multiple test cases and then see if it's going to pass. Yeah, it passed all the test cases. For this, if it's 1, 3, and if it's 2, 6, and if this is the case, if it's repeated once, that means 1, 4 is going to be the longest, or 4, 3. Okay, so the length is 2. For this case, 2, 2, and 3, 2, 3 is going to be the longest. So all the cases pass. So for our time being, I just copy the code how this works and then we can talk about it. Okay, so the same code, let's see how it works step by step. So first, when you start the code, let's copy the sample so we can go through it. Okay, let's take this as a sample. 1443 is the smallest one, right? Okay, so 1443 is going to be the sample, and see how this loops in the program. When you start, left, right is going to be zeros, and the maximum length is going to be 0, and the dictionary is a blank one. First, when you loop in the input list, 1 is going to be the value. So the index is 0 and it's going to be 1. So we check the dictionary. Yeah, here we have the if statement, right? If the value exists, then increment. If not, do like this. Instead of that, we can just say frequency dot get val or 0. You can do this way, plus 1. Okay, even this helps. Instead of going with if condition, we can just say the dictionary dot get value. If the value doesn't exist, it just assigns 0 for it and then it adds 1 to it, right? So instead of going for the for loop, if condition, you can just do this way too. Okay. So we check the dictionary, the dictionary is blank. So we just say the value 1 and the occurrence is first time. And we say frequency of val is greater than k. So is 1 greater than 1? No. So it skips this if condition and comes back to the right equal to right plus 1. So right becomes 1. So we are moving to the one more element of the right side. So when you start, the left is going to be 0, the right is incremented to 1, and the maximum length still is going to be 0. And the second element is 4, right? And the index is 1. So the index is 1, then 4. It checks in the dictionary. Dictionary is only 1 comma 1. Sorry, key value pair is 1:1. So it adds the new element to it, 4, and occurrence is 1. I check if the frequency of val is greater than k. Frequency of val is 4, right? So 4's value is 1. So 1 greater than 1? No. So it goes to the, skips the if condition, gets the right plus 1. So right equal to 2 now. So we go to the third element, which is this 4. So the left is going to be 0 still, and right is going to be 2. So it comes, left is 0 and right is here. Okay, it goes to the third element. So the index is 2 and the value is 4. And it checks the dictionary. Yes, the dictionary 4 exists. So it increments by 1. So 1, the key value pair is 1:1, and then 4 occurs twice. So is 2 greater than 1? Cross threshold? Yes. Then we do the maximum of the maximum length, which is still 0, and then right minus left, which is, when you till here, 2 minus 0, this is 2. So the maximum length, when you go here, the maximum length is going to be 1, 4. And then we are changing the left and the right positions, and then we go to the n. So right we increment to 3, and the next is the last element, where left is 2, right is 3, and then checks the dictionary. The 3, it doesn't exist, so adds a new element, and then it checks. So 3 occurs the first time, so it's greater than 1? No. Then do the right, and that's all. So the only trigger happens is here, and then it assigns the max as 2. So the return value is going to be 2. Okay. So the program looks simple. Only thing is, here we have multiple conditions, right? So is there a way we can clean up this code in a better format? So instead of checking the if condition and then go for while loop, there is a simpler way to change this code. So instead of doing all this condition, I can just say while the frequency of the val, instead of this, I can just say the dictionary of the val is greater than the threshold. Okay, if that is the case, then we just do this, and then we keep this, and then we just assign the maximum length max length equal to max of max length comma index minus left plus 1 is what the key difference is. So the expression index minus left plus 1, it calculates the length of the current substring being considered. Okay. So since the last time we just increment with left and right, so we don't have to do the plus 1, but for this, the current substring we considered, you just add 1 to it. Let's see if this works. Yeah. So even for this condition, it takes the all the variables and it passes, right? Okay, so what is the main difference? Let's see. Let me just copy the code with the sample data so we can go through the loop. Okay, the same code, but we just change the shifting of windows condition here. So we start with the left is 0. We are not going to consider the right moving part here. We just get the maximum length and the frequency for dictionary to track it. Okay, so when you start with left is 0, maximum length is 0, and we are going to get the list value is going to be 1443. That's what we tried last time, right? Okay, so we just say it's 1443. So first one is index is 0, the value is 1. So it checks the dictionary, the value is not there, so it adds to the dictionary, and then it checks if the frequency of val, like the value is greater than threshold. No, so 1 is not greater than threshold. Then it skips the while loop, it goes directly to the maximum length. So the maximum length is, have we calculated the maximum length before? No, it's 0 still. And then the index position of it, instead of the right, we use the index position here, and then left plus 1. Since we use the index, it's always start from 0, right? So we just add 1 to it. Now you understood, right? So previously we just use the left and right. So it starts with 0 and 1, 2, just goes like that. Since we use the index here, we just make sure we just add 1 to calculate the length of the current substring. We are considering that starting with 0. Okay, so the first loop, we just say the maximum length is 1. So we start with 1, so current the maximum length is 1. When you go to the next one, the index is 0, 1, and the value is 4. Okay, so the left position still in 0, and then the maximum length we calculated here as 1, and then 1, 4 is the value, and checks the dictionary. 4 is not there, we just add the 4 to it. Is 4 greater than, the value of 4 is 1, occurs 1, so it occurs once, so it's not greater than the threshold, so it goes to the maximum length and checks if this 1, 4 maximum length is greater than the current calculated maximum length. Yes, so it makes sure the maximum length is 2, and then goes to the third value, which is going to be the 144, the second 4, which is going to pass the threshold, and says yes, the 2, 4 is 4 exists. Yes, you increment it, and then the value is greater than the threshold. Yes, so we just do the left position moves here, and then you move the left to the one more element of it, and you check the max position. So it's going to be the index position minus the left plus you add 1, so it's going to be 2. Next value is going to be 3 and 3, and it says no, comes here. So it triggers only at this point, so we get the maximum length of the longest substring. Hope this video helps. Thanks for watching.